I'm Richard.
And I'm Will.
And together we're
The Irreverent Nerds. Bum, bum, bum.
Nerds, I have some exciting news to share. We are now offering a monthly subscription service for our listeners. For the low price of $2.99 per month, subscribers will gain access to 2 bonus episodes and an invitation to a Zoom gathering. Additionally, subscribers who sign up for our email list are eligible to be entered into a monthly prize drawing. So what are you waiting for? Click on the link in the episode description today to get started.
That was not as loud as possible.
It was not as loud as possible. What's up, nerds?
Nerds! We're recording now?
We are, yes we are. We are on the way to see Spiderman Across the Spiderverse.
Across it.
I think we got that right. So Will, how you doing today, man? How's it going?
Oh, well, it's all right. I'm not going to get into details. I'm probably not the most focused to drive right now, so we're about to go on an adventure.
Woohoo! Live dangerously, just like Spider-Man, except with no superpowers.
Yeah, like car insurance.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Car insurance.
No collision, though.
Oh, fun. Not worth it, I guess.
Let's just make it look like the other guy's fault, I guess.
It's your fault. You did it.
You ran right in front of me.
So, nerds, thanks for joining us again on yet another jaunt into the theaterverse. So this is kind of fun. We like switching it up. I know the audio quality kind of fluctuates, and that might be frustrating for some people that are used to podcasts having consistent audio quality. But you know what? Like, that's one of the things we want to be a little different about our podcast.
Consistency? What's that?
Yeah, exactly. We both have ADD/ADHD, so you're gonna get it all over the place.
All over the place.
That didn't sound right.
All over the spectrum.
That's right. No, but like most other podcasts, with the exception of NPR, like journalism podcasts, where they're like interviewing people, or Radiolab, where like they're going out in the field and recording it. So that's what we do. Like, we're recording out in the field, as it were, in the nerd's natural habitat. Actually, I suppose home is probably. You know what though?
To say.
Maybe we're stereotyping nerds, though. There's nerds of all different stripes, you know what I mean? There's
otakus, geeks.
But are geeks nerds? And are nerds geeks?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. So, shout out to Red and Link. You should check out their music video. It's probably been about 10 years ago they put it out, but it's called Epic Rap Battle Nerd vs. Geek. And it's quite amazing. It's great. Not to mention a slightly older song, White and Nerdy, put out by one Weird Al Yankovic.
White and Nerdy.
Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the Weird Al movie on Roku TV with Daniel Radcliffe and Rainn Wilson, you should totally check it out. It's hilarious.
I want to see that. Is that free?
Yeah, it's free if you have a Roku TV, or I don't know if you can just like sign up for Roku online and get it, or if you have to have a Roku TV to get it free. I'm not sure. But I have a Roku, not a Roku TV, but I have a Roku, whatever you call it.
Box?
Yeah, box. Roku box. So I can watch it for free. And it's good. I remember hearing, I think it was in an interview, I heard Daniel Radcliffe talk about that was coming up. And so I was like, I want to see that. And some of the draw was that I like Daniel Radcliffe. He's really good in comedies, actually. Like, you wouldn't necessarily think so, but he's quite hilarious. Anyway,
I need to see that then.
Yeah. So plug for Weird Al, and a lot of cameos in that. Jack Black makes a cameo in that. Let's see who else makes a cameo in that. Quite a few celebrities. I'm assuming are friends with Weird Al. Either that or he called in some favors or something. but obviously Rainn Wilson has a more significant role in the film, playing the Dr. Demento, I think.
Dr. Demento,
who discovers Weird Al at a biker bar one night.
Oh, okay.
By the way, this movie it's like a parody of his life, which is brilliant, I thought. So you're not quite sure what's true and what's not.
Well, I'm not familiar with Weird Al's life, so I don't know who Dr. Demento is.
Hold on a second. We're back. Will's driving like a maniac. Because I left the house with Will is picking me. He picked me up, and my wife and I only have one car, and I left the house with the keys in my pocket, so I got to go back. So you guys get a little bit longer of this. Sorry, or you're welcome, depending on how you feel about it.
Twist my mustache.
So we're just gonna shoot the breeze here. We're not even gonna talk about the movie. So Will, I bought. We don't do this very often anymore. So let's jump in. Will, I bought a Wii recently. You know this. And what did you tell me?
It's true. This man now has a Wii.
Yeah, and Will called me an idiot for buying the Wii.
No, I called you a knucklehead.
Oh, knucklehead. Sorry.
That's because I have two Wiis, and for some reason I felt like giving him one of them for his birthday this year.
Yeah, which obviously he wasn't going to tell me about because it was a surprise. And but he didn't know I was planning on buying, which I didn't know either until recently.
Yes,
Yeah.
I rescued it from a dumpster many years ago, and I don't know what to do with it, so it's like, I will give it to my pal Richard.
This little Oliver Twist has been living in his closet or something.
Yep.
Poor orphan.
It's in a cardboard box labeled Wii number 2.
It's like, actually, maybe to be more precise, he's like a cast off from the Sheriff Woody doll collection. He's not getting played with. He's just sitting there in a closet, you know, collecting dust like Squeaky.
Squeaky.
Who, once he got a new voice box, for some reason could sing like Frank Sinatra. Sorry, Toy Story reference.
Are we talking about the penguin?
Yeah, isn't it Squeaky? Isn't his name Squeaky?
I don't remember.
I feel like it's Squeaky.
I don't remember except that he exists.
And then at the end, he's like, "You've got a friend in me." He's like either James Darren or Frank Sinatra, kind of that style, swinging. I'm swinging.
Which Toy Story movie was that?
2, I believe.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I believe it was Toy Story 2. Yeah. Wait, 2? Was it 2? I'm trying to remember which one it was that Woody gets put up on a shelf. I think it was 2.
It was 2.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets put up on a shelf by the mom, I guess, or something. Because what's his face goes to camp with Buzz instead of Woody. Actually, because his mom kind of makes him anyway. Forces him to make a choice. Which, speaking of Toy Story, sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Will, do you want to say more?
I think there's another Toy Story movie in development, but I'm confused.
Why?
Because I read some sort of clickbait article that said that the next Toy Story had been canceled, but then when I read it, I think it really was trying to say the next Buzz Lightyear film was canceled because no one really liked the first one.
Yeah, it kind of bombed. It didn't even break 200 million, which for a Pixar movie is might be the worst grossing Pixar movie of all time, actually.
Because people were not ready.
I guess. It got advertised quite a ways ahead, but I guess it just didn't garner enough interest.
I liked it, but I didn't love it. We didn't do a review on that, did we?
No, I haven't seen it yet, actually.
Oh, really? Well, then I probably shouldn't spoil it for you, the things I didn't like about the film.
Well, yeah, if it's like...
I like the cat, though.
Important plot points.
It's a very important plot point.
All right, do you want to honk the horn? All right, that's out the window there. Oh, watch out for that wasp. There's a wasp behind you. Ah!
Bye.
All right, drive like the wind.
The wind. There's like 20 minutes of previews, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, with a big movie like this, blockbuster, yeah, there's gonna be like 20 minutes of previews. So I don't think we'll miss anything.
You know what I heard? I don't know how or what, But I heard that something in this film sets up the next Tom Holland movie.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, like, because they definitely made some connections, and with it being a multiverse, obviously, and Sony having rights, like, they can kind of do that if they want, I feel like.
They can do anything they want.
Within reason, obviously, like...
For a reason out the window!
Or Kevin Feige, no. Does Avi Arad, is he still working on the Sony Pictures side of it? Or did he retire from Marvel Studios? Because, you know, he was involved with the Tobey Maguire films. Like, he was the big... Kevin Feige was just like an assistant producer or something back then. Like, I remember, I actually saw his name on Spider-Man 3 in the credits. I was like, oh, it's Kevin Feige, before he was Kevin Feige.
You mean the, right.
But Avi Arad was kind of the big runner for Marvel Studios back then. So he, like, it's not even a renaissance, really, because they didn't have a good Marvel movie until X-Men, I guess, really, in 2000. Right? I don't think you can say they had a good Marvel film until X-Men.
I think that's where it all started. What year did Spider-Man come out?
I believe it was 2002? Yeah, 2002.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it was summer of 2002, if memory serves me. And then the second one was 2003. And then, I think. And the third one didn't come out until 2007. Something like that.
As far as I know, yeah, that's what people say. I've read that it all started with the X-Men films. This superhero renaissance.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because, like, there really hadn't been, like, because, yeah, honestly,
Where's that car going? Thought so.
I mean, you didn't have to let him in. He could have come in behind you.
Just avoiding the wreck.
Watch out.
Almost had a wreck.
I will say, though, that well, your driving has improved over the decades. Like, when we first started riding together and you had that old Buick, like, you were not as good at paying attention to the road. You've gotten better over the years.
I'm on medication.
Hey, it helps.
Actually, I'm not on anything for ADHD, though. I just thought that would be funny to say.
Yeah. No, I think you and I both take SSRIs, which is not really a stigma around that anymore. It's, like, so ubiquitous now for millennials, I feel like.
Patooey.
It wouldn't surprise me if
millennial out of my mouth.
at least half of millennials are taking serotonin reuptake inhibitors. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, isn't there another word for our generation other than millennials?
Prozac Nation.
No.
I haven't seen that movie yet. I've heard it's good. It's from the 90s, I think. Late 90s. Maybe early 2000s. The aughts, as they say. What do you call the tens? Like, I guess the 2010s, I guess. The 2010s. Now we're in the 2020s.
We call them the tens? I don't know.
I guess you call it like the aughts, because the 2000s just sounds weird, so I think people just call the first decade of this millennium the aughts. And then you have the 2010s, I guess. And then the 2020s. Something like that. Anyway. So yeah, guys, you're definitely getting a all over the place. But you know what? That's one of the things I think we get away from it sometimes with our podcast, where kind of the spontaneity to a certain extent, because like sometimes we try too hard to follow an outline and it actually kills the vibe sometimes, I think. And that's my fault. I think I'm like, well, we gotta do an intro and we gotta follow the plot and we gotta do this, and sometimes we lose the spontaneity, I feel like, when we do that. But then on the flip side, with the spontaneity, maybe sometimes people get lost and they're like, where are you going with this? So I don't know. What do you guys think? Listeners, what do you think?
Do we encourage your ADHD?
Yeah. Give it a slap on the ass.
Where did that come from?
Tell it to run along. You can do it, ADHD. You can do it.
You can do it. No, over there. Do it over there.
Not here. Not in, oh, shiny. Woo.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
I was was like that when I was a new driver in my teen years. I was taking my brother and I to school or home from school one day, and he just was like, "Hey,
By
look,
the way,
a squirrel."
let's not get a ticket on our way. That would be good.
Well, that would make this an interesting podcast.
Yeah. Thankfully, the movie just came out, so there's like 20 showtimes today. So we'd still be able to see it, but yeah. It's like, so we got pulled over because we were trying to make it for the 2 o'clock showtime. Yeah, there's one at 2:30, so if we make it too late, we can do the 2:30 if we have to.
Cool.
I do like seeing the previews, I will say.
So, Thing.
Like the John Carpenter film from the early 80s?
Sure.
Or Thing from Fantastic Four?
Better Thing.
Or something else?
I was going to say something, but I forgot. So, I heard that this film is supposedly better than the original.
Oh, that's hard to do. Especially since the original was so good. Like, that was like, I think we called it, like, I think we both agreed it's probably the best Spider-Man film. Definitely right up in the top 3, right? Both of us, I think, rank it up there.
Which is a hard decision to make. I really love the Tobey Maguire films, but they can be kind of campy in hindsight.
Yeah, I still think the second one is still my favorite. Like, the first one was great too, but because obviously establishes the world and it took superhero movies to a new level, higher than X-Men, I would say. Like, I think it was just something that just soared about that film, and I did not see it in theaters because I didn't go to theaters back then, but I did. My dad at the time had a video projector, so we watched it on this decent sized screen, so we still got to see it, decent sized screen with good sound system. That was pretty awesome. I watched Fellowship of the Ring on that same screen.
Cool.
I think the second time I watched it. The first time I think I just watched it on a laptop, I think. Anyway, but yeah, so you love Tobey Maguire films. Like, now how would you rank them? In terms of your favorites of those 3 films?
Second, first, then third.
Yeah, same here. That's probably what most people, I think, too. Like, I think the second one, because I was about the same age as he was supposed to be in the film at that time, so the second one really resonated with me. Some of his experiences reminded me of things that I had gone through around that time.
Oh, you stopped a train with some webs? I didn't know that.
That's right. Yeah, I looked like I was like severely constipated while I was doing it. What is it with Spider-Man stopping things with webs and looking constipated? I don't know.
Well, Tom Holland tried to save a boat from being ripped in half.
Oh yeah, that's right. Was that the second film?
I think that was the first.
Oh, that was the first. That's
Tom
right.
Holland film.
Yeah, which was really good. The second one, mediocre, in my opinion. Yeah, it just didn't land. Which is sad. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal is great. I love him. He's an excellent actor. But just something about the second film just felt a little bit flat. Didn't quite grab me. But obviously the third one, excellent. No Way Home. Excellent.
Yeah, I think my favorite of the Tom Holland films, probably No Way Home is probably the best one.
Yeah, and obviously, it's one of those things where it wouldn't be as good if you hadn't had the lead up to it, of him being in both the first 2 films and building on the character, and then obviously him being in the Avengers movies, and like it built up to so many things. It was really the Infinity War saga of Spider-Man films. It tied so many things. I guess in a sense it even tied it into the Infinity War saga in some sense, although it was like a postscript. So getting back to this Spider-Man universe / multiverse, you heard that it might tie in to the next Holland film in some way. You've heard a rumor?
I heard it did, but I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
Same here, yeah. I don't think I guess I've watched a trailer. Yeah, I've seen a trailer at some point. But yeah, other than that, I haven't haven't seen much. I haven't been on Instagram much this weekend, so I haven't seen any spoilers pop up on like Nerdist or IGN.
Well, I think my biggest spoilers comes from the trailer, finding out what happened to Peter B. Parker and his version of Mary Jane. Sorry, Mary Jane.
Oh, well, don't tell me, because I didn't catch that part.
We'll talk about it in the review.
Yeah. I must have seen it without noticing it, unless it was the most recent trailer. I don't think I've seen the newest trailer. I saw the first trailer. Was it the first trailer?
I think it was in the first trailer.
Huh. I guess I just missed it, or I forgot. So, maybe that'd be a good thing. I'll be surprised. Whatever it is. So we'll find out. We will see. Or I will see. Will already knows, so. It's probably my brain somewhere. Probably in the same place I keep all my internet passwords.
Ha ha ha. So, just, I remember my question. I was going to ask you, what do you think could possibly happen in the next Toy Story film? But that's in the past. Let's talk about Spider-Man now. What do you think would happen in a future Tom Holland film?
Ooh. Well, I do love the idea, honestly, which I've heard other people talk about this, so I didn't have this idea myself necessarily, but it resonated with me when I heard it, like the idea of him, of it being a reboot where it's just a very small story that just takes place in New York City. I guess the first film is that in some ways, but this one would just be very different because everyone has forgotten that he was Spider-Man. Everyone who knew has forgotten, including Doctor Strange. Like, nobody else knows at this point, unless and he hasn't, as of the end of the film, like, he hasn't chosen to reveal it to anyone. At that point, like, you get the impression he's going to just let his friends have a good life and not tell them about him being Spider-Man.
They'll be back.
Oh yeah, they will. Mary Jane will probably find out again at some point.
MJ.
Yeah, MJ.
What? Actually, isn't her name in this universe short for Michelle something?
Oh,
Michelle
you might be right. Yeah, it might not be Mary Jane. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Because, Zendaya doesn't really look like a Mary Jane, and she doesn't have red hair either, so that would make more sense. But I imagine there's been different iterations in the comics, too. Like, obviously, I know he's been with Gwen Stacy in different iterations, even in the film versions.
And then is it Black Cat or Shadow Cat? I can't remember. I think it's Black Cat.
Oh yeah. Felicia Hardy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they get together at some point, too. All right. All right, nerds. We're going in. We'll catch you on the back end. Not that back end, but back into the film. So, see you in a bit.
Joker here. I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about the Irreverent Nerds. They're sitting here in my hideout, all tied up. So they can't say this themselves, but they would like you to know that there are multiple options by which you can connect with them. Their Instagram handle is @irreverent_nerds. They're on Facebook and YouTube as simply the Irreverent Nerds. So pedantic. And of course, they are on your podcast app. If you listen on Spotify, scroll down and you will see a question. What did you think of this episode? They welcome your feedback, or so they told me. They also post episode-specific polls and questions from time to time, so please feel free to jump in and give them your 2 cents while they're still alive. All right, nerds, I've talked enough. Let's get back to this week's episode. It might be their last. Nerds, we would love to find out who is on the other side of the microphone. There are multiple options by which you can connect with us. Our Instagram handle is @irreverent_nerds. We are on Facebook and YouTube as simply The Irreverent Nerds. Makes sense, right? And of course, we are on your podcast app. If you listen on Spotify, scroll down through the episode description and you will see a question. What did you think of this episode? We welcome your feedback, including your constructive criticism. We also post episode-specific polls and questions from time to time on Spotify, so please feel free to jump in and give us your 2 cents. All right, nerds, I've talked enough. Let's get back to this week's episode. All right, nerds, we're back.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
We have exited the theater. We're sitting here in the parking lot to talk about I keep wanting to say into Across the Spiderverse. So we're both a little tired because honestly, this movie, like, visually, I mean, I'm tired for other reasons too, but it wears you out, right? Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
It is so busy. I mean, the first one was too, but this one I think ramps it up to another level. There's just so much movement and action and camera shifts. And
cameos. My gosh, the cameos.
Oh yeah, like all the little Spiderman from different either TV shows or video games or live action movies.
Yeah.
Like it connected to pretty much every Sony property. At different points, like we saw Andrew Garfield. Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers.
You guys know us by now. Like, this is gonna be a shorter review, so we're gonna jump right into spoilers. So yeah, if you haven't seen this yet, go see it first. But yeah, so you see Andrew Garfield. At one point, we see Tobey Maguire with the Uncle Ben scene.
Yeah.
You know. And it's kind of like in the background, but yeah, like they're all interconnected, which is pretty cool.
We see the actor that plays Uncle Aaron from the live action MCU Homecoming dressed as the Prowler.
Wait,
I thought that was cool.
Uncle Aaron.
Did I get his name right? Remember in Homecoming with Tom Holland, we actually get to meet
Oh, they tell you who his name is? Because Donald Glover is in that.
Donald Glover is in it. He stars as Miles Morales' uncle.
Oh, so they do say what his name is. Because I thought he was just like a drug dealer.
He mentions his nephew Miles in the film.
Nice. Perfect.
So I don't know if they're actually ever going to introduce Miles Morales in the MCU. They probably will, but we get him dressed as the Prowler in this film, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. I didn't catch that. But then it's been a while since I've seen the first Spider-Man movie. Did he make a short appearance in the second one too, I think? Or was it the third one? It was the third one. This third one takes place back in New York again, so. But yeah, he definitely popped up in the first one. Huh, that's cool. Oh. Imagine, well, no. I think they wouldn't reiterate it too much, because then Miles Morales, it's like in this one, like, the Peter Parker of that universe dies, so would that mean that Tom Holland dies? And then Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man? But I doubt they would shadow it that closely.
Well, that's the comic book origins, but it doesn't have to be one for one. We could always just keep Tom Holland around, and in the comics, Miles Morales also goes by the code name or identity Kid Arachnid.
Kid Arachnid, huh?
Yes, so it's not too confusing if there are two Spider-Men, because Miles Morales in the comics eventually goes to live on Earth 616. He's originally from the Ultimate Universe, but he goes to live on Earth 616, where Peter Parker is still alive and will continue being still alive. So, to avoid confusion, he's renamed Kid Arachnid.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think
I feel like they're probably not going to do a live action Miles Morales now that the Spiderverse movies are so popular, though.
yeah, no, that wouldn't make sense. Like, it would make more sense to either make another one with Tom Holland, or maybe. Now, what would be interesting is if they brought in Spider-Gwen into the Tom Holland universe. Did Gwen Stacy make an appearance in the first Spider-Man? Like the one with the... I was trying to remember.
With Tobey Maguire?
No. The first one with Tom Holland. Like Tom Holland's first standalone Spider-Man.
I don't think so.
I don't think she did. Yeah, so that's something they could still do. They could still potentially bring her in, or have like Spider-Gwen, and maybe the torch get passed on to a woman. Have a female Spider-Man or Spider-Woman.
Well, there are plenty, as this film showed us, there are plenty of spider people within the Spiderverse.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be Spider-Gwen, aka Ghost Spider-Woman. It could be a different Spider-Woman, because the comics have several Spider-Women.
Yeah, and obviously there are so many Spider-Men pop up in this one. I know they haven't done comic books for every single one of them, so I'm sure some of them got made up just for this film. And they don't have any lines necessarily. Some of them, they just pop up in the background.
Yeah. There were so many cameos in this film that I couldn't keep them all straight. I feel like we'd have to wait until home release, pause it every few seconds, and bring on somebody with some sort of encyclopedic knowledge of the Spider-Verse just to catch all the cameos.
Yeah, well, I really liked what they did with villains in this one. Like, obviously the Spot is one of the main villains, but I like that there's a sense in which Miguel from the who runs the, what did he call it? Do you have a name for it? The League of Spider People.
I don't know.
The Interdimensional League of Spider People, we'll call it that for now. Like, he is so driven to prevent another mistake like the one that he made from happening, that he's willing to do things that are pretty dark, and he convinces himself that it's the right thing and that there's no other way to get it done. So he, in a sense, becomes a villain.
And what's up with him being a vampire in this film? Because that didn't go anywhere. I know in the comics he's just hooked on drugs, and we actually saw that at one point in the film.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah, he has to get he's hooked on Alchemix drugs, and he has to get a fix every now and then.
So he does have a comic book series.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man 2099.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely from the comics. I think he was originally created in the 80s or 90s. I forget, maybe the 90s, if not the 80s. But yeah, he's definitely got a lot of comic history.
Okay. 2099. Yeah, I know I'd seen him like that design somewhere before, like either in a video game or like somewhere.
Yeah, he definitely makes an appearance in one of the Spider-Man video games as a playable character.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so Oscar Isaac does his voice, and Oscar, he does a good job in almost anything he's in, but that means that Oscar is technically two different characters within the Marvel universe now. But I guess they can be like, well, it's the multiverse or the Spiderverse.
Who does he play? Moon Knight?
Moon Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, which, looking forward to season 2 of that, by the way. I really enjoyed season 1.
Yeah. Well, it's not a first. We have what's his name, who played a villain in Luke Cage, coming back to play Blade. Was it Blade?
Mahershala Ali?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he also does a character in these too.
Oh, really?
He does Uncle Aaron.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Mahershala.
I'm going to have to practice trying to say his name.
Mahershala Ali.
We'll just call him Ali.
Good actor. Yeah, a couple of movie recommendations: in Green Book and True Detective, which not a movie, but like he does a season of True Detective. I've not seen Moonlight yet, though. That's where I think he won an Oscar for that. Or I know the film won Best Picture. I want to say he won for Best Actor, but definitely, yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Mahershala. But yeah, this was really good. I think. Whew, I think my initial rating, I think I would put it at a 4.5 nerd hats. How about you?
I guess a 4.5. I mean, I still think the original film was better, but it was just right.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I felt this movie was longer and busier. Not in a bad way. It was still good. But should we spoil them?
Well, yeah.
Ends in a to be continued.
Oh yeah, we're jumping a little further ahead. But if you've already seen it, obviously you know this. But yeah, like I was surprised. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they're doing a sequel, but I was surprised that they're like directly tying in this storyline to the next movie. But I guess this one definitely connects to the first film. And it does seem like, we were talking about that earlier,
yeah.
You know, did they have a plan for a sequel? I mean, it did take 5 years for us to get it, so, like, was it kind of like, if the first one does well, we'll do a sequel, which, to some degree, is always true in Hollywood. You know, you can plan for a sequel, but if the first one bombs, then a lot of times those plans get scrapped.
And I just feel like, once I see the second part of this story, I'm going to be able to get a better review, but... we just wanted to throw that out there right quick.
Yeah, which I guess in a sense it'd be the third part, sort of. But yeah, the first one didn't end with to be continued. But that may have been because they did. So it could be that Sony has already ordered 2 movies, so to speak. I do wonder if that's why it took 5 years. Like I think, like I mentioned earlier, like have they been working on both of them, and are they going to release the next one next year? I hope so. I hope
Probably.
Obviously, I hope we don't have to wait another 5 years for the next one, which I doubt. If it's already planned to the point that they're willing to end this one on a cliffhanger, so to speak, then it probably won't be that long. But actually, you should look it up. They might even have an announcement for a date, perhaps, unless they're waiting for like Comic-Con.
Well, let me look at the Wikipedia. We'll see what's on here, but
Yay, old Wikipedia.
Future, here it is. But
they got the title of it already too. I forget what it is now.
Beyond
the Spiderverse.
And yeah, I think you were about to mention it earlier, but this film actually explains why the spider was twitching, glitching in the first film, which I thought was odd, but it makes sense now.
Yeah, and like I didn't catch it the first time I saw it either. Like the first time I saw Into the Spiderverse, I didn't catch that. But the second time I watched it, I did. Like I saw that, I was like, oh, the spider's from another universe. But yeah, and obviously that plays a big role in this. So like, I think so. If I understood correctly, so Spot is from another one of the universes.
I think he's from...
Or no, wait. Was he from the same one as Miles, but they brought a spider in from another universe?
Yes.
That's what it was, okay. So they were experimenting, they brought a spider in from another universe, and he worked on that spider, and then that spider escaped and bit Miles, but it was supposed to have bit, I guess, Miles in Earth 42 instead. Yeah.
So, here is the future of the Spiderverse. The sequel, the third film, was confirmed by Lord and Miller all the way back in December 2021, so we just didn't know.
Okay.
But everybody else did.
Just didn't catch it, or didn't see it.
Yeah, they revealed that Into the Spider-Verse was going, the sequel to that movie was going to be split into 2 films, and part 2 of Across the Spider-Verse
Beyond the Spider-Verse
was expected at that point to be released in 2023. I guess it got held back, so we're finally getting part 1 now.
Yeah.
Not this past April 2022, that's when it was retitled Beyond the Spider-Verse and given a release date of March 29th, 2024.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much not quite a year away. So March is a good release date for some movies, because it's like you're out of the Christmas movie season. Like anything that released during there is pretty much either out of theaters or lost its steam by March, and people are starting to look towards the summer season, but they're not there yet. So like big movies that drop in March sometimes do really well. It just depends.
Yeah.
Didn't help Quantum Mania too much. I mean, it still did reasonably well, profit-wise, but not compared to the first 2 Ant-Mans.
And guess what? According to Wikipedia, there's going to be a Spider-Woman spin-off film, and there's going to be a manga published by Shonen Jump.
Nice. Sweet.
The Shonen Jump manga will star the female Dr. Octopus, who wakes up in the body of a young teenage girl for some reason.
Okay.
In Japan.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe she's the one that makes the spider robot. Which, by the way, makes a return in this film. So a new robot has been built, so I guess she did save the spider. The one that can sync up with the robot. She saved the spider, so she was able to put the spider in a new robot, and share a psychic connection with that spider robot.
And just to correct myself, it doesn't give any pronouns. I only assume it's the female Dr. Octopus, but it says Dr. Octopus falls into a coma and has been reawakened in the body of a young Japanese middle schooler, Otaha Okutamiya. And I don't know Japanese, so I don't know if that's what gender name that is.
I mean, it says it's a young girl, right?
No, it just says middle schooler. I assumed.
Oh.
It was assumption on my part, so I'm correcting myself.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't necessarily say in either case whether it's the female Doc Ock. Because doesn't she die? I was trying to remember, did she die Into the Spider-Verse?
I don't remember her dying.
I'm trying to remember. We just watched it not long ago, too. I don't recall. I don't recall if she died or not.
Well, it does say that she was in a coma.
So maybe she got severely injured, I guess.
The Spider-Woman spin-off is going to star Spider-Gwen, Silk, and the other Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. If you don't know who Silk is, that's a character from the comic Cindy Moon. Kind of like an Asian Spider-Woman.
Okay. Nice.
I guess Jessica Drew was the black Spider-Woman on the motorcycle in this film, I think.
That'd be my guess. Yeah. Did they ever even say her name? I'm trying to remember.
I remember them talking about a Jessica Drew. Yes.
So that might be her then. No, that would make sense. Yeah. But no, like thoroughly enjoyed this film. Like, I think one of the themes that it really hit on was parenting.
Oh yeah.
Which obviously I can relate to that, having 4 kids of my own. Don't have a son, and I don't know what it would be like to have only one kid. Like, I feel like in some ways that would almost put too much weight on that one relationship. That's your one kid, you know what I mean? Like, both from their side, but also from the parents' side. So, like, But no, just the idea of having a teenager who's growing up and doesn't always tell you everything. Not that younger kids necessarily do either, but like, but yeah, they're growing more independent, and you got to figure out how to let go without completely letting go. Let them fly, so to speak. Let them soar. And, yeah, I liked the dynamic they had with Miles and his parents. And
Oh yeah.
I thought it was handled well acted and written.
And Peter B. Parker, it's revealed that he has a daughter, Mayday Parker, and Mayday is actually from the comics as well.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's the. I'm not sure if canonical is the right word because it's a future spin-off series in which Mayday grows up and becomes Spider-Woman or Spider-Girl or whatever. So I'm not sure if that's canonical or it's or not. But that was its own series back in the day.
Okay. Nice. So the daughter of Peter B. Parker and Mary Jane. So obviously Peter B. and Mary Jane get back together. Because were they fully divorced in the last film or just separated, I think? They were apart, whatever
I thought they were divorced, but I'm not sure.
I think so, and I think it was because he didn't want to have a kid, but she did. And then after working with Miles, he changed his mind. And then I think it does show him coming back to Mary Jane there at the very end, if memory serves me. But no, he's bringing his baby to work. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Peter, did you take our daughter to another fight again? No.
It's I wouldn't.
No, I would never do that.
That would be irresponsible. Nah. No, that was pretty funny. He's in a bathrobe the entire time. He's got his Spiderman suit on, but he's got a bathrobe on top of it, and the front-facing baby holder. But yeah, his daughter obviously was born with spider powers. She can crawl on walls and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
I bet that's going to be hard to hide in daycare.
Yeah. That's true. I guess they wouldn't be able to put her in daycare. I feel like they experimented more with the art style in this one. They got a little bolder, took some slightly different choices in some of the scenes. And obviously we had the one scene with the Lego Spiderman.
That was great.
That was great. And there's another scene where the Spot is experimenting as he's using his holes to go in and out of different universes. He goes into a live action universe and talks to an Asian woman. And I couldn't remember if she was from one of the films.
Yes.
Is it Venom? Venom, okay. Yeah. I thought she looked familiar. So she's the store owner where Venom's always
yeah.
Venom / Eddie Brock are always going to that store.
So I was thinking,
so it connects to that too. That's cool.
Yeah. I heard that was a deleted scene. They didn't shoot anything new for this film.
Oh, I see. So they inserted the footage of. Hey, why not? Save a little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
Not to reshoot anything, just add in the CGI.
So, I was thinking, I had read an article on the internet stating that this film somehow set up the next Tom Holland film. After watching it, I think the only thing they could possibly be talking about is live-action Uncle Aaron as the Prowler. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. That's just a cameo.
But yeah, it could. It could, though. That would be pretty cool. Donald Glover is a good actor, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. Like him as the Prowler. I do feel like maybe a little bit too much crossover, though. Like, because the Prowler features too prominently in the first Spiderverse film, so
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be retreading that ground. Not that they're necessarily afraid to do that, but yeah, doesn't seem like that would be the best decision. But again, I wouldn't mind seeing Donald Glover as the Prowler.
I was originally excited to see a live-action Miles Morales, but now that we've gotten so much Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse films, I feel like it would be oversaturating it, the movies with that storyline.
Who was the live action? Oh, you're wanting to see a live action?
Oh, yeah, I was wanting to see a live-action Miles Morales when Homecoming had the uncle in it. But you're right, I just think it would be too much overlap.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's probably just a cameo for Donald. Good old Donald. Yeah, I did not realize the significance of his character when I saw that film. So. Unless you told me at some point. You might have told me, but I had forgotten if you did.
So, the canceled Spectacular Spider-Man is in this film.
What was it?
Yeah, it's a cartoon. Spectacular
Oh.
Spider-Man. I think it got canceled after one season probably. That was a good show too. And so the Spectacular Spider-Man actually makes an appearance in this. We get a clip from the show as a part of the origin, but also the character is just there, newly animated in one of the scenes, standing with all the Spider-Men. I think he talks a little bit. But there's so many cameos in this film. I felt like I saw the CGI Spider-Man cartoon at one point. It looked familiar. That one that came out back between Spider-Man 1 and 2 of the Tobey Maguire era.
Hmm.
There was just so much in this film.
And I think we even saw Tom Holland Spider-Man at one point.
Did we?
I think so. It looked like his Endgame suit, I think, or his Infinity War suit. Like the one that's more has the AI and everything. It's built by Iron Man.
Yeah, I definitely saw some Spider-Men that looked like they were wearing the Iron Spider suit, but I don't know if it was Tom Holland or not. It's supposed to be Tom Holland.
It didn't sound like his voice, but it also was really brief, so I couldn't quite tell.
I know that Miguel O'Hara's character, Spider-Man 2099 character, talked about Doctor Strange and that nerd at one point, so it was definitely referenced.
That universe.
Yeah.
He seemed annoyed. He's like, they messed it up. Which obviously, in Spider-Man No Way Home obviously deals with the multiverse. So apparently both live action and animated worlds are connected.
Apparently.
As well as Lego.
Everything is awesome when you're part of a team. Did Sony put that out?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was Blue Sky, or if it was Illumination.
The Lego movie?
No, I don't remember. I just know it's not Disney.
No.
But neither is this.
Well, they had a lot of Warner Brothers characters, Warner Brother Discovery characters in that film, like Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they got permission from the Lego company to have Lego Spider-Man in the film or something. and it's not connected to the Lego movie at all. I'm
sure there'll be a Lego Spider-Man video game coming out though. I can always guarantee that. Because why not?
Wasn't there already a Lego Marvel Universe game?
I don't know. Wonder if they just have an exclusive deal with DC. They've got Lego Batman, but then they also have Lego Indiana Jones. Maybe that is with excuse me, Warner Brothers, because they have Lego Harry Potter as well, which is Warner Brothers. So maybe so. Maybe so.
No, there's definitely Lego Marvel games. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. So Wyndham.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 1, 2, and 3, or 1 and 2, and then Avengers.
So, come back to this movie, Spider-Gwen, or Gwenda. Gwanda. We get to see her universe at the beginning, towards the beginning, which I thought was cool. Get to meet her dad. Doesn't say where her mom went. I don't know if her mom died or not sure, but like she's not around, so it's just her and her dad.
I assume she died. She's never really been around in any incarnation of the character.
Maybe that was her Uncle Ben. Was her mom. Although it seemed to imply that her dad might die too, because there's always like a captain. That was one of the, what they call the canon points, or canon event, yeah. Like something that is shared between all the universes, like someone who's a police captain who's close to Spider-Man dies.
I'm pretty sure Spider-Gwen's Uncle Ben would be Peter Parker himself, which I was really surprised in this film that he actually becomes a lizard.
Yeah, that was interesting. He like experiments on himself because he figured out that his friend was Spider-Girl, and then he wanted to be powerful like her. And it goes wrong. And they end up fighting, and he ends up dying as a result of the fight.
I don't know if Captain Stacy is supposed to die or does die in the Spider-Gwen comics or not. But I know that Captain Stacy, as far as I know, as far as I remember, he does die in several of the Spider-Man universes, as well as Gwen Stacy herself dying.
Yeah, and that's something that Spider-Gwen references in talking to Miles, is that Gwen Stacy falls for Spider-Man in most of the universes, but then it also doesn't end well in most of those universes. So in hers, since she became, that got the powers of the spider, then Peter Parker is the one who died. What's up with these 15-year-olds running around taking names and kicking ass?
What, in the comics?
Well, no, in this movie, like 15-year-old Miles Morales. I guess she's supposed to be a little bit older, Gwen, but not much. Like teenagers. Look, in real life, a teenager in most cases wouldn't be mature enough to step up to the plate like that.
Well,
or just not ready, emotionally ready.
I have two theories. Either A, it's because Spider-Man was one of the very first teenage superheroes in the comics, and they wanted to continue that with these new characters, or it has to do with the target audience. It's one or the other.
That's true too. Money's always an angle from the studio perspective. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why the Harry Potter films are so popular. It's like children who often, even in good parenting homes, there's an extent to which you're not in control, you're not as powerful as you want to be as a kid, because your parents are in charge. Even if they're good parents. So the Harry Potter series, in a sense, shows kids their age having this secret power that they can utilize, so that there's an appeal to that. At least that's what J.K. Rowling speculates. So So I imagine this is somewhat similar, where it's like a 15-year-old, I guess 14 in the last movie. Yeah, I forgot he was that young in the last movie. But that makes sense.
Pretty young.
He's just starting out in high school.
Man, when I was a teenager, I thought I was so old. Now it's both you and I are just shy of 40. I'm just thinking I was such a baby.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't even been around that long. But anyway, that's a different topic.
Yep. But I guess in terms of the universe is concerned, we still haven't been around that long.
That's true too.
But yeah, relative to other humans, or no, other species, we've been around a little while. Got a little bit of experience under our belts. Yeah. Well, hey guys, so we're keeping this a little shorter because we had an opener already where we just kind of shot the breeze, and we talked some Spider-Man as well, but we had a good time. So we hope you enjoy this review, and if you let us know what you thought of the film, first and foremost, and send us a voice message. We'll include it in next week's episode. We haven't talked about it in a while, but yeah, you can still send us voice messages. It's still there. It's not the anchor.fm profile anymore, but you can go on our Instagram page, just add @irreverent_nerds. You can go there to our link tree, and obviously you can find your way to our Spotify for Podcasters profile, where you can leave a voice message. You can also become a subscriber, which we'd be grateful if you do. And we're getting ready to mail out. We're a little behind on some of our bonus episodes and prizes, but we'll get there. Thank you again to our subscribers, and our first winner of a prize was Lars DeSenza, who's also subscriber number 1, and we'll be mailing his gift out, which is a $25 Paramount Plus gift card.
Nice.
Which is something Lars will definitely use, because he uses Paramount Plus all the time for his Tricknicity podcast, and just because he loves Star Trek. So but yeah, we'll have another drawing for June. We missed May, and that's our fault, but we are realizing that in order for this to really work, you have to sign up. You have to let us know who you are, obviously, if you want to be a part of that. So you have to sign up for our mailing list, but it is eligible only to subscribers, but subscribers who additionally sign up for our email list. And we're working the kinks out. We're getting there. Anyway, thanks for joining us. And yeah, sorry for the confusion. If you thought that Elijah Miller was going to be talking with us this week, we got our because there was an extra Wednesday in May that kind of threw off the rhythm a bit, and I just wasn't thinking with last week's episode when I mentioned that. But Elijah will actually be joining us for next week's episode for Comic Book Week in June. So yeah, look forward to that. We'll be getting an update on his work, and yeah. So until next time.
Till next time.
Live long and prosper.
Sayonara.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Irreverent Nerds podcast. If you would, consider following us on Instagram. We are there at irreverent_nerds. You can also hit us up on Facebook. Just look us up there at the Irreverent Nerds. That's our fan page. We have a YouTube channel as well. Once again, the Irreverent Nerds. Nice and simple, right? And if you go to www.irreverentnerds.com, that will send you to our Podcasters for Spotify, formerly Anchor.fm profile, where you can send us a voice message if you want to, support us financially, or listen to the podcast. It will also direct you to other places you can listen, like Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, you name it. So, like, comment, subscribe, follow, all those good things, wherever you find us, wherever you listen to us, we would greatly appreciate it. Until next time, nerds, live long and prosper. Avengers assemble! I'm Batman.